news and everything on the social media has been very heavy lately. So I know a lot of my friends are taking a social media detox.
Before making any kind of plans or anything, anyone will always tell you first analyze, reflect and analyze, and that's when you can create new things.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Listen Up with Simran Isha, where we dive into real conversations about life, personal growth, and everything in between. Today, we have an exciting episode lined up for you, so turn up the volume and listen up.
Welcome back to today's episode of Listen Up with Simran Isha, and this is July, guys. That means we are talking all about 6 months into 2025 and 6 months left for 2025, right? Yes. So it's time to reset, in my opinion. This is the time to really go back, look at your goals, look at what you had, wished for yourself in the beginning of the year, what all had you planned for yourself, not from a lens of judgment, but from a lens of, okay, how far have we come? And then figure out what are your next steps, because you still have time and life doesn't get over if 2025 gets over. But yeah, I'm in the zone of reset right now, Isha. What about you?
Oh,
What
definitely. It's my birthday month, so I'm definitely in the zone of reset.
Oh.
So I'm just, when my birthday comes, I'm very excited, and I'm like that little child who's very excited for their birthday. But I'm also like, what are the things I want to let go now? What are the things I'm looking forward to? For me, it's like a new year all over again. So definitely in the zone of reset, definitely in the zone to let go of things that okay, in January I had a lot of plans for myself. Some didn't pan out, some panned out. I'm even in that zone to let go and not judge myself for it. And then move forward with better plans and new plans. And I'm looking forward to what the next 6 months are going to bring because I'm excited. I feel that energy. Like there's a shift in the energy for me personally. I don't know about you, but I felt that energy lately. I know last two episodes were a bit heavy. We discussed our personal experiences with anxiety, but I think we've let that go. That part of we've healed ourselves, and I think now we want to just invite the right things in.
Absolutely. And I feel like I'm feeling that energy from both of us. And I feel like even a lot people around me are in that space where it's like, okay, it's July. Yeah, people are slowing down, but they're also realizing like, okay, we're in the mid-year mark. And like, what is the thing now that we want to keep pursuing? Are we closer or further away from where we want to go, right? And personally for myself, I've been sitting with myself and checking myself and check and literally being like a teacher to myself and being like, okay, you didn't do this. You said you'll do this, you didn't do it. You said you'll do that, you didn't do it. It's fine if you haven't, but how can we make that happen? So I think the first step for me is reflection of what has happened, what I said will happen, and what did happen, and what did not happen.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I'm doing for myself, just like reflecting.
No, I agree with that. I think reflection is very important. But ना पता कैसे चलेगा कि गलतियां कहाँ पर हुई हैं? पता कैसे चलेगा कि improve कहाँ पर करना है? वो भी तो देखना पड़ेगा ना. It's not always about the new things. It's also about what we are doing और उसको हम better कैसे कर सकते हैं. उसको भी improve कर सकते हैं. Like let's say you've been working out a certain way for the past 6 months. You want to change that. You want to switch it up a bit. थोड़ा कुछ focus करना चाहते हो किसी area के ऊपर. I think it's very important to reflect and these mid marks, these kind of things, they give you the time. Mindset में भी अपने आप आ जाता है कि I can sit back and do it in the next 5-6 days. I can give myself this week to just reflect. I think it's happening for everybody. I agree with you because most of my friends are also feeling this energy. We can just sit back and see what I want to change for myself. I know some of my friends have felt that this year has been very heavy news and everything on the social media has been very heavy lately. So I know a lot of my friends are taking a social media detox. So that is also something that they felt that this is a heavy year. Let this year be about inner work. So they're working on themselves. So I think I like that. I like the pace with how everybody is rolling, and I'm also trying to find what I am focusing on next.
Yeah, and without but reflection without judgment. Like it's not you have to sit and be like, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua. You said you'll do this, you didn't do this, you're so useless. Like instead of like that negative language, like a positive language that okay, fine, it's not happened, it's fine, you're a human. You can still work on it and change, your path the way that you want it. Like you said, you need some time off social media, take that time off social media. You need that space, take that space. And for me personally, the second thing which I've been doing a lot is going back to my habits. Because I've realized like every other human on earth, I'm a creature of my habits. And whatever habit I maintain is how my day goes, that's how my week goes, and that's how my life goes. And the minute I stop, like my morning routine, for example, that's the minute I start feeling like my days become lazier, more lethargic, more, doubtful, and like there's a lot of negativity instead of like, yeah, okay, I can do this, like, and I'm in a good spirit. So like one thing I've been doing a lot is like checking my habits again, just to like understand where is the gap and where did I fall off, kind of, when it comes to my
I get it.
routines.
I get it. ठीक है. I think habits is also very very important. मुझे habits वाली बात से click हो रही है. मैं something parallelly कर रही हूँ, but I don't know if I want to call it habits. What I'm doing is मैं अपने आप को ना I'm not giving myself very heavy goals this month. I'm giving myself weekly targets, but I'm keeping it on the light end. Usually when I'm in the reset mode, when I'm trying to start new things, I go full gusto. I'm gonna do 10 things, and I do that, and I'm able to like live up to it also. Now I'm giving myself very less goals, but the frequency of it I'm increasing. So maybe I'm also trying to build a habit, but in a different way. So meditation is something that I'm trying now very like consciously to make it in my routine. I know I meditate, but I'm trying different kinds of meditation for myself, and that is something I want to do it regularly, because I felt that I don't have any outlet. I don't have any release. There is no release for me of all the pent up frustration, emotions. A lot of good things are happening in life, but then I want to stay somehow in both the phases of life now. Like I don't want to feel the high of the emotion also or the low of it also. I want to stay in that stable zone. That's why I think meditation is something that I'm big on right now, and uski frequency बढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ अपनी life में. That's what I'm working on. So yeah, maybe
I love that. I love that. I love what you said. Ki I don't want to live in the extreme high or the extreme low. It's about finding that stable place, where you're just doing and being and enjoying the being of doing.
Yes.
I don't know if that was a tongue twister, but it
But it made sense to
kind
me.
of the energy, And I love what you said. Like instead of approaching your goals as like big things, like I want to be, I want to have $1 million. Great. That's a great goal and a great dream, I would say, more than a goal. But like there are tiny things you need to break it into. And like I like that you have weekly goals. I think that's something which I'm also trying, Like instead of having big goals, I'm taking those big goals and like breaking them into like small weekly things. For example, for me, making sure I batch 6 reels for our podcast, right, is something which is like a very simple weekly task. And it's good if like when I achieve it, because I feel like, okay, fine, 6 reels and 6 reels and 6 reels. And over time, that content builds up and there's so much more reach and potential because of the small work that I'm doing, every week, kind of. So yeah, I think like people don't see how beneficial, how important, your weekly and daily goals are.
No, definitely. Even I'm doing something. I'm like, now for me, workout, I want to stay consistent with my workouts. I've given myself like 5 days, and I'm giving myself a week to just see if I can, just make it those like regularly for the 5 days if I go. And if I'm not, then I'll go back and check again. So that's the pace that I'm, taking this month in. Also because it's my birthday month, I try to celebrate the little moments, and like my friends keep on coming with small gifts. I've already gotten so many gifts, so this has been like that small celebrations are also happening on the side. So I'm just trying to take it all in. And I've learned, I read rather somewhere in a book recently where it said you sometimes block your abundance and your growth by not letting people do the things they want to do for you. So this is also that month where I am allowing or giving myself like that. I'm having that energy where I'm letting the abundance come in. If somebody's complimenting me, I'm accepting it wholeheartedly. So that's where my headspace is at. So I think reset in every way, Simran, I'm doing. It's not just, it's mentally, it's physically, and and I'm just spiritually, definitely, yes.
I love what you said, like even like how much you heal yourself, when you do that. And that's also a reset for yourself, because you need that goodness, that acceptance of compliments, acceptance of love and kindness, that people are giving your way, and balancing that energy for yourself. That's really lovely. I think for me also, like that's been a big part, like being a little more kinder to myself with everything. I think I can also, like you, be very harsh, especially when I'm judging my goals or wherever I have to go.
Mm.
So one thing for me that I acknowledged, which is also helping me, is like surrounding. I realize like whatever I surround myself with, like that's how I start becoming. If I'm in an environment like a stupid thing, like I didn't have a desk for 2 weeks, and because I didn't have a desk, it put me off completely from my work. My work was not working. My things were not happening. I was feeling very out of place, and I was like, why is that? And I realized because I had not found a space which I could sit and focus on. So like even like your surrounding for your reset is important. Like you need to create an environment which makes it most convenient to achieve your goal. If you are constantly surrounded by negative people and you want to go to the moon, and every time you tell them and they're like, yeah, but you're not going to go to the moon, yeah, but that doesn't work for you, you're not going to make it to the moon, because you will like you will become exactly what they tell you are. So I realized, like, I used to joke sometimes where I used to go to these. I was once at Mind Valley in Dubai, and there was this workshop happening where I entered the workshop, and there was like this calm music playing and like high vibrational energy and all that. And like after a point, I was just like, why does this need to happen every morning? I was like, it's not necessary. Like we can take care of ourselves. Then I realized that just having that music playing in the background every morning would automatically make it easy for me to relax, calm down, recenter myself.
So
So
basically,
it's
you
not
train
that
your
I
brain.
need it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You train your brain. It becomes easier for you to be a writer if you have a notebook and a pen every single day next to you.
Yes.
And you go to the desk and it's always there.
Yeah.
It becomes easier to do something if it's in your vicinity. So if
Oh,
you
I like
want to
that.
start changing those things, I realize that I need to surround myself with things which makes it easy for me to do the task.
Wow.
So then, like a bad habit, even like I have a bad binging problem on Netflix. I'm sure a lot of people have that. And I started keeping my remote in the other room. So if the TV is here, I would keep it in the other room. And literally, there were days where I'm like, "Ugh, who's gonna get the remote?" And I stopped watching the TV as much as I used to. I still do, but like the frequency became lesser, and I was able to change my habit because I made it inconvenient for me to reach to the
wow,
remote.
I think I like that.
So
wow,
so how convenient and
inconvenient your surroundings
make
can
it.
be. Yeah, that's so interesting and so
Yeah.
simple thought actually. Like if you break it down like that, I
Yeah.
think that's wonderfully explained, and I'm going to use this one. The things that I don't want to,
Yeah.
take forward with me, I'm going to make it less convenient for me to do them. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
I also remember one thing from 3 years ago what I learned from you, and I think I'm going to do that in the next coming week myself. Around, mid-month, exactly the middle of this month, I'm going to sit back and revisit my vision board, which we created in January. We talked about it, and you taught me this, that every 6 months you need to go back to your vision board and see what are the pictures or what actually came through for you, or maybe what is something you don't align with anymore, something you align with January, you don't align with now. You can change it up. So I'm going to do that also. I think that's one more part of this reset process that I'm going to do, and I'm really excited to do it, just to go back and look what has happened so far and what I'm looking forward to.
I love it. That's a really good one.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
it's also because our goals and dreams keep changing.
Keep
right?
changing,
Like what you
yes.
wanted maybe in Jan, you don't want anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe you want something different.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe
So
you've
it's good
reached
to
it.
also,
Maybe
like,
you've
reflect.
it's not like अगर आपने January में let's say 20 regularly posting का सोचा था, maybe you've started doing that consistently. You've reached that goal. Now you need to upgrade that goal also. It's not just about what you want to lose, but also what you want to upgrade. It's more than that.
Yeah.
And I remember in your session also, you were so adamant on this, quarterly, half yearly. You need to do this because again you get reminded. The spirit of doing it now comes back with you. You were very adamant कि यार जाना चाहिए, देखना चाहिए तो मैं दोबारा जाकर क्या सोचकर मैंने डाला था. And I'm just want to go back and revisit that feeling for myself also now.
Oh, I love that. It's because like we are very good with go with the flow. So we'll do it for like a few weeks, and then when we get into a flow of something, sometimes we lose track. And just to like even if you're on track, just to like check, like, okay, here I am fine, here I'm not,
Yes.
kind of a thing. It just really puts you back into focus. And that's why, like, before making any kind of plans or anything, anyone will always tell you first analyze, reflect and analyze. And that's when you can create new things. Otherwise, you can't create from, your old patterns and your old routines.
Yeah, I agree with you. Wow, Simran, I think this conversation has been so breezy. I don't know what happened, but it's been so flowy for both of us. And I'm so happy that we both are aligned in this state, because you're also doing some things, I'm also doing some things, but we're actually moving like forward together. I like that energy.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to, what the next half of the year brings for us.
Yes, even for the
people
podcast.
who are listening.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And people who are listening, I would definitely say, go do this for yourself today if you can. Take some time out, reflect on the last 6 months, see how far you've come, start changing or moving yourself in a different direction if you want.
Yeah.
And so that your next 6 months, you can create something different. Yeah. So
I'm really excited.
Cool. Yeah, this was great. I think me and Isha will see you in our next episode where we talk about even further things moving into July.
Yes.
And we have a special guest as well, which we will talk about later.
Yes.
So yeah, keep listening, guys, and I hope you have a great week.
Thank you for all the support, guys. Keep listening.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Listen Up with Simran Isha. Hope you enjoyed the conversation and make sure to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, stay tuned and listen up.